Alright, well, I don't really get the chance to go out and ride on this little baby. This is my wife's run around, gets her to work. It's a Peugeot Django 150cc. I always forget and call it a 125, but it's got a little bit more power than that, although it doesn't necessarily feel it. But I guess it depends on what you're used to. It's kind of a fun thing to ride. I haven't done many miles at all on it, so I'm not really totally adjusted to it. My wife is the one who's racked up all the miles. But let me tell you what it's like coming from, I guess what some people will say, a proper motorbike rider, but I don't really care. I think it's got two wheels and an engine, so I'm interested. So just pull in now. We might be here a while with this learner at this busy roundabout. There's water on the ground. We've got it's a little bit chilly outside. We've got winter tyres on this just because they're kind of inexpensive, and we've also got, this has got combined brake-ins. So if I pull on the left lever, then it applies a certain distributed pressure. Oh, what are we doing here? Okay, easy guys. Learners, I think everyone was expecting that learner to go a little bit quicker. Okay, so yeah, left lever combined brake-in, so it distributes the brake force between the front and rear. It really helps with keeping the balance of the bike, and great for, you know, entry-level riders. And then the right-hand lever is just your regular front brake as well. So we're getting up to a bit of speed now. I mean, this thing is obviously setting no records, but it can keep up with the traffic comfortably, no problem at all. 45 mile an hour now, and there's no problem at all. Obviously the learner's slowing down the traffic a little bit today, but if we were needing to buzz along here at 60 mile an hour, it's not a problem. It can easily keep up at 60. So what do I think about it? Well, I don't have a load of experience riding scooters, so it's a very different feeling. It's weird having my legs like tucked in next to each other and tucked behind the kind of front fairing area, so there's very little wind on my legs and on my body, so you're kind of protected in that way. The whole twist and go is very weird, and it feels kind of disconnected. And we've got that, I don't know if it is a CVT or whatever it is, but it's a, you know, twist and go automatic gearbox, as it were, and it does feel a bit elasticy. It's not as direct feeling as if you're riding a motorbike with a manual gearbox. How about power? Well, it's got enough for what you're going to do with this. Here I am on a fast A road, but it's a busy time of day, so the traffic does slow down, but it's not a problem at all. I've just got to nip up to Romsey and pick someone up, and this is a good vehicle for it actually. Great Pillion capability, but maybe I'll talk about that when I get my passenger on board. What's the handling like? Well, compared to the other scooters I've ridden before, this one is brilliant. I've ridden a 50cc two-stroke Vespa, maybe like a 2001, I think it was an ET2, and then also I've ridden a similar sort of age 125cc four-stroke Vespa, and this one has a little bit of a longer wheelbase, has disc brakes which are considerably better, and it also has bigger wheels. I think they're 12-inch on this one, so that does make a big difference to the stability and helps the handling all round. I mean, they're still small wheels and you feel the bumps in the road a little bit more, but you know, you're not doing breakneck speed. I really like, I don't know if you noticed the beeping. I don't know how the microphone's going to pick that up, but I like that the indicators beep, which is good for people like me who are very forgetful and leave the indicators on. It's kind of a handy little thing. I'm not sure why more motorbikes don't do that. Why that's not kind of a standard thing. It's weird. It's like if you've driven a car with a trailer, it does the same sort of beep as well. Anyway, what else do I like about it? What are the pros of it? Lots of storage. So it's got under-seat storage. You can get an open-face helmet under there comfortably. You can get a backpack in there, regular sort of size backpack. It'll fit in there, or a decent sized bag of shopping you can get in there. It's got a hook in front of my knees as well for hooking up a bag. And this one's fitted with the top box on the rear rack as well, so you can get a proper full face helmet in there with room to spare. So again, you could get a couple of shopping bags on the top box. You could hook a shopping bag or two in front of my legs on the hook. You could get one, maybe squeeze two under the seat as well. So plenty of luggage and storage space. Alright, so here we go. Yeah, can you hear the beeping now? Now we're coming up to the junction. Yeah, the brakes are really, compared to the other scooters, give me a lot more confidence. Alright. Okay, right. You should be back with me now. I've picked up my Pillion, and so I'm just readjusting to having some extra weight on board. A Pillion with their bag, and just riding defensively. I'm not really used to riding this at all, let alone with a Pillion on the back and their luggage as well. But it pulls strong enough, having plenty of weight. There's definitely more weight in the rider and the Pillion and the luggage than the scooter itself weighs. That's the interesting thing. I don't know why different generations seem to call it either a scooter or a moped. For some reason I'm more of a generation that calls it a scooter, but nowadays everyone's got those little electric scooters that they seem to refer to as scooters. Anyway, I'm leaving plenty of defensive space and just taking it easy. I'm not trying to thrash it, but I've got plenty of throttle in reserve if we did need to go a little bit quicker. Yeah, well, what about the wind from that little screen? The little screen actually does a surprisingly good job, and it's not noisy. There's no whistling, and although there's a little bit of turbulence, I guess you're not really going fast enough for it to be a real issue. This is not like a 80 mile an hour thrash it down the road kind of vehicle. Mirrors are good, and they kind of fit in with the style of the scooter. The aesthetics. I'll put up some stills of what it looks like stationary. What you can be the judge of how it looks. I think as scooters go, it's a good looking thing. Not really my kind of style, but I appreciate it for what it is. You can see just down there, just having a quick look down, and there's two compartments down there. The left hand one is your fuel filler flap, and the right hand one is a charging area for a phone. So it's got a 12 volt socket already built in there, and you can charge your phone or anything else, sat nav or whatever. So it's got a couple of compartments down there. What else has it got? Well, it's got a temperature gauge. My motorbike doesn't have that. I'm envious. It would be nice if my much more expensive, much more powerful bike had a temperature gauge. Not exactly sure I need it, but sometimes it's useful when you want to kind of judge how much grip there is on the road and everything. But yeah, maybe in the future I'll have time to kind of do a more proper, more comprehensive, in-depth review. I just thought this would be interesting, just kind of a sort of first ride kind of thing. I think it's brilliant value for money, looks good, rides well. I think it's got for the kind of vehicle that it ultimately is, it's got enough power. It feels pretty stable. The brakes are pretty good. The suspension, you can tell it's basic, but it does the job pretty well. And it's very very functional, as well as it's not just the form. You know, it looks good and it's got that kind of retro sort of styling, but it's very very helpful that it's got a centre stand, it's got a side stand, it's got loads of storage. It's, you know, it's very practical, and it averages over 100 miles per gallon as well, which we could only dream of on other motorbikes. So, you know, if you're looking at this for kind of easy and cheap commuter, something to get around on, it's absolutely ideal for that. So I hope that little first look helps you guys. I'm going to sign out now, but you will see me again.